If everything completely goes away, how do you want to be remembered?
I mean, if I like die?
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
What young people especially are screaming at is they say, give me a structure that I can live my life by. And especially with young men, more challenging of them, more saying, you know what? Honestly, I'm not going to talk down to you. Stop being a boy and become a man. You want to learn what that means? Come to church and I'll tell you what it means to become a man. Because we have the greatest story ever told. What can I do to save the country? You answer that question every single day because you are doing the work to save this beautiful republic. You are doing something that is bigger than you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle. It's Friday, and we have a very special broadcast for you tonight. You're probably going to cry. I know that I was while I was putting today's show together and even just grabbing some of those amazing clips. So Michelle changed the spell check, changed Tyler to Kyle. So I don't want to take away from what we're about to talk about, which is Charlie Kirk. Leah sends me the shows and she sends me the titles, and I very rarely follow up on I just copy and paste and just run with it. Thank you. So here's what I'm gonna do. I want to get started on today's show, and then when Leah comes and she can take over the talking, there's going to be a lot of places I can't go and fix that, but I will be able to fix it on the title and the background and everything like that. So I will fix it. It was just a mistake on Leah's part. It's okay. It happens to us all the time.
What
So
did I do this time?
you put Kyle Robinson instead of
shoot.
Tyler.
Lord have mercy on
It's
my
okay.
soul.
I didn't even double check it. It's I
Why
can't.
did
We've
I
been
have
in a.
dyslexia.
It's okay. We've been in a big hurry a lot lately, hence why our show is an hour behind today. I don't know about you guys, but I've just felt off for the past 48 hours, over 48 hours, just since this happened. My brain is fuzzy. I can't, I don't know. And it's very unfortunate because we've got a lot that we need to do, and so does everybody else. So I'm not like making this personal. I'm just saying, like, it's just, I don't know. Lee and I have had a lot of conversations lately about why this is so personal to all of us. And we're going to get into that tonight. Leah, let's do this. Let's just kick off with maybe some of these other people's remembrances so I can take the time to, and let's just roll right into a couple of clips if I can. Thank you guys for your patience here today. You're amazing.
Today is our 2-year-old's birthday. And I look at my daughter, and that is my why. For those that are parents, you know exactly what I mean.
There is no mountain that stands tall as your faithfulness. There is no river that runs wide as your goodness.
Man, Charlie, I remember when we were starting these out, and
It was that like that.
You know, it was like this. It was like your average
First 3 rows.
It was like your average political meeting where there was like 12 people in a room, and this is awesome.
This, in my personal opinion, was the most over-the-top Trump event that I've ever covered.
This is the #1 boots on the ground operation in the country. We're working directly in harmony with the Trump campaign. It's been vetted, it's been cleared, it's been blessed, as you can see there, and we're going to try to win this thing. No guarantees. It's what we do that matters. Mr. President, I can tell you this room is 100% with you, and we have your back. God bless you. We really do. Thank you. As you know, we are heading on campus here momentarily at the University of South Florida, throwing it down with the students. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are excited to continue this cultural movement that we have started at Turning Point USA. More high school chapters, more college chapters, and disagreement is not just welcome, it is invited. We want to have those tough conversations. That's what it's all about. Because you're not supposed to be involved in this. You're supposed to just kind of be on the vote for me every 4 years, give me more political power, and stay out of my business. And what has happened is we are seeing an explosion in citizen participation.
There is nothing else I'll ever need. All of my days, your mercy follows me. Oh, there is nothing else I'll ever need.
Knock on that extra door. Go that extra mile. Talk to that extra friend. Because throughout voting month and culminating on the 5th of November, I believe it will go down as a day that people remember. As a day that is written about in history books. As the final battle from the golden escalator on down. From defeating Hillary Clinton. From the nonsense of 2020. From Butler, Pennsylvania, November 5th, it all culminates. Where we restore the promise that the founders gave us. And they said, hey, if the people want it, the people get it. And we, the people, take back America. God bless Arizona, and thank you so much. Every day, the American people demand certain accomplishments and victories. Disagreement is what keeps a movement alive, keeps a movement fun. Here in this country, we are a country of flourishing. We're a country of risk-taking. We're a country of building. We will achieve American greatness, and we are just getting started.
All of my days, your mercy follow me.
So, I'm going to pause that there. I mean, that goes on for like 3 hours. You can watch the rest of that. That's posted over there on the Charlie Kirk's actual YouTube. It's just so interesting because, like I said a little bit ago, like, I didn't even know Charlie. Like, Leah and I knew a lot of people in this movement, but we never met Charlie. And yet it hits you. Like, why does it hit so hard? You know? And I told Leah, I don't know about you guys. I can only speak for myself in all of this, that, you know, I had a childhood friend whose older sister died. I didn't even know her older sister too well. But she died in a texting and driving car accident. She left a little son. She was single. She was a single mom. But her younger sister was like one of my childhood best friends. And she died when she was like 21. So I'm like 18, something like that. Maybe she was even 20. I don't know. And I cried, man, for like a couple of months. All the time I found myself crying. I didn't even know her that well. And I think one of the reasons, there's multiple reasons why this hits us so hard. If you're a mom, if you are a child, if you are a father, which all of us fall in one of those categories, and you envision the loss of your dad or your husband, or you are a dad or a husband, and you envision your loss and what that would be like to your wife and kids, the emotions just can overtake you. And so a lot of times we need to recognize that what we're feeling is overlaid empathy and sympathy. And there's a clip actually that I saw from somebody quoting Charlie Kirk, where he actually says that he's not a fan of empathy, that empathy isn't as natural or healthy as sympathy. And I don't know in what context he was saying that, but I do think that in some contexts it's real, because the end of that quote says, because nobody can because he says, when you are in empathy, then you are feeling what that other person is feeling. But the truth of the matter is you can never feel what that person is feeling. So when it comes to his wife, Erica, you can't feel what she's feeling. Even if you've lost a husband, you can't feel what she's feeling. You can get a lot closer than the rest of us, but you can't feel what she's feeling. Even if you lost a dad, you can get a lot closer than the rest of us, but you can't feel what his kids are feeling or what they're going to feel when they get old enough to really feel it. Because each and every single person has their own unique story. And so I think that sympathy is a very healthy emotion to feel. And so I told Leah last night, I said, I don't have an empathetic response to Charlie's death. I'm not actually in that category where I'm feeling it extra because I'm envisioning what it would be like to be his wife or his kids, or envisioning what it would be like to have like my husband and kids, you know, because I don't fall in those categories. And so my emotions, I feel like, are very, I'm not saying that they're more clarified than anybody else's, because I would never, ever presume to have that. But I'm just telling you that when I'm crying, I'm just genuinely sad. I'm just sad. I'm sad for the loss of Charlie. I'm sad for the loss of the movement. And it's okay to feel those feelings. And we're going to get into tonight. We're going to play some of his great stuff. And we're actually going to talk about the shooter, Tyler Robinson, and his family, and his youth pastor and his dad actually turned him in, which is incredible to me. There's going to be a lot of speculation out there about it being a patsy. A lot of us feel like, you know, JFK all over again. Can you believe what the news says? We'll get into it. We'll break it down. We'll talk about it. I'll tell you what I think, and you can tell us what you think. I will say this, that I have been getting a lot of messages from people that are trying to pin a motive behind whoever they think really did this. Most of it's most of you think it's Israel. And I told Lee, I said, here's the problem with that. That what that does, and that puts you in the camp of, there is never, and there will never, ever be a mass shooting or a murder or an assassination that's just done by a crazy person. Like literally, I need to ask you guys, those of you that are falling in this camp, please stop and take stock in your life and ask yourself, is there ever going to be something like this happens where you will not try to blame it on the people that you already hate? I mean, dead serious. Do you think that it is at all ever possible for a well-known figure to have been assassinated by a radicalized, hateful, psychotic sociopath? Because as far as Lee and I have been doing this for 8 years, and it's been getting increasing to the point where it is virtually impossible for anything like this to happen without the blame. It has to be something bigger. It has to be bigger than just a crazy person. You literally cannot comprehend. You're so deep into the rabbit hole that it's never enough to say, you know what? This is the product of our public school system. This is the product of the universities. They are radicalizing our children. And you can go back to whoever you want. By all means, go back to the Rothschilds who have funded our education. I'll take you there. We'll talk about it. By all means, go back to who is funding the education in the universities. Who's behind all of that? Yeah, you can blame them. But to say that it's impossible for this to have been a radicalized person, like, I don't think you realize just how much of a disservice it does to Charlie, to his family, to the truth, when you don't address what is most likely the biggest issue in our nation today. And I can prove it to you. Would you like to have me do that? Good, because I'm going to. Have you seen what these radicalized people have been saying on the left as a result of Charlie's death? They're glad that it has happened. They're rooting it on. There are people that, like, in government positions that have had to be reported because they were essentially saying, at the very minimum, Charlie asked for it. And then Charlie deserved it. Those are radicalized people. And they've been radicalized by our institutions that our tax dollars are funding. And Leah said something super powerful, and then we're going to get into this. We're going to play you guys all the clips, and we're going to get into the shooter and Tyler and all that. What was it that you said? I was just running with that. It was about the public school system. Well, shut them down. Everybody wants to say, on the right, everybody's got these Q-esque, QAnon pipe dreams. We're just going to arrest everybody on the left. And Leah's like, so that's not plausible. Do you have an alternative? And then people on Twitter will come back with her and say, no, there is no alternative. That's it. Mm-hmm. So then yesterday, in keeping with that, Leah says to me, Michelle, this is the one thing I would get behind. If all of a sudden the right says, you know what? We need to shut down all public schools. We need to shut down all public schools. And there needs to be a giant mass exodus of young people from these universities. Oh, but Michelle, if you pull all the conservatives from the universities, then there won't be salt and light. I'm sorry, these kids aren't ready to be salt and light. They are not ready. If you are willing to risk your child's sanity, send them to the universities. Send them to college. I'm dead serious. Because I have countless friends that were homeschooled, conservative families, went to the universities, and they, boom, came out some sort of radicalized woke liberal. And their parents are like, what did I do wrong? I even sent them to a Christian university. So yeah, shut it all down. Shut it down. Lorraine says, anyone who celebrates murder is demonic. And that's what it is. And then I'll say this last thing and then we'll get into this. This is spiritual warfare at its highest. Charlie Kirk is a martyr for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Full stop. Anybody else that wants to say otherwise, you can message me. I'm not going to say what else I was going to say. You can message me because you're wrong. You're dead wrong.
Okay. So, the killer, not Kyle, Tyler, the same name, by the way.
Not really.
In my head.
It's spelled similarly.
So, by the way, Tyler and Kyle are the same in my brain. Doesn't have to be the same in your brain. Doesn't have to be the same in your brain. It's the same in my brain.
I get it.
Okay, same name in my brain.
I should have double checked it. You know what's so funny is that when I was trying to get pictures of this murderer. I just copied that, and his mugshot came up. So the internet even gave it to me under Kyle.
The way to go, internet.
So the internet didn't even correct me. It didn't even say, "Do you mean? Did you mean?"
So there's a lot of conflicting reports on how Tyler got turned in. This particular report says that he confessed to his father, who is a Republican conservative. His family is supposedly a Republican or conservative. And then the father called a youth pastor. Other reports are saying that the father called himself. At this point, knowing that information is flying, we do know that someone within the family circle turned this young man in. Not just because they saw his face, but because the kid is just, I guess, at home. He just went home. Didn't really have a plan. And so to all of us who were, saying this had to be an assassin, this had to be Israel, this had to be, to Michelle's intro, no, it really doesn't. If you remember Columbine, if you are in that generation, that's my generation of teenagers, there were two teenagers who were focused on death. The internet radicalized them too. Music radicalized them. And they went on a killing spree in their school in Colorado. And since then, there have been a lot of angry young men who want to kill and think that the answer to their rage is taking other people's lives. Now, we need to understand something, because I think most people come from an atheist point of view that does not put into the calculation that all evil is demonic. And when you put into the calculation all evil is demonic, you're going to come out with different scenarios than MK Ultra, government hit job, things like that. Okay? Often it's the extra government things that are happening. Public schools are government schools. I say shut down all the public schools. He went to the University of Utah for one semester. Then he was in a trade school. Do I think he was radicalized by the public school? I think public schools and colleges and things like that in general are seed beds. And then what we're seeing with the trans ideology and the shooter ideology, I don't even know what Discord really is. It's like, I guess it's like Reddit for like super secret Reddit. Okay. Reddit monitors thing, Discord does not. These chats. So I guess on Discord is where you can say and do all of the subversive, crazy, awful things that you want. And that's where these kids are praising the Columbine shooters. We keep going from shooter to shooter, and we need to recognize that there is a whole world. If you want to shut down something, you have to find a way to shut down these Discord chats or shut down any chats or any groups that are praising or talking about these shooters. Okay? Like, that's the way to solve things. When you have access now to the internet, which is access to evil, okay, we're using it for good, but the devil is using it for evil. And we have to understand that the devil is using these internet chat things to radicalize people into mass murderers.
And so to say that it's just Israel.
No, just no, stop.
So all you're saying to me is, Michelle, it's impossible for these radicalized kids to actually pull a trigger.
No, look at the Columbine kids. Israel had nothing to do
with Columbine. And the devil is perfectly happy with you to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
Because then you're not addressing all of these completely mental kids that need deliverance, that have turned into adults, some of them.
The mental kids that need deliverance. There are millions of children who are radicalized, and Israel's not pulling their buttons. Israel's nothing to do with them. They're radicalized in our public schools.
Blame the public school system. Put the blame where it belongs.
So there's a lot that we're going to discuss tonight. And I'm just going to go back and forth to all the links that I have open. The first one here is is a link to a woman. Her name is Lexi Kunzel. She's a nurse. And she was on the receiving end of what many of us have been on, with people praising the death of Charlie Kirk. She was in a room with a doctor who did, and now she's filing a report. Lexi Kunzel, she's one of the good ones. Yesterday, in front of a nurse's station with 8 nurses and a patient, Dr. Matthew Young, obviously not from Israel, he's Chinese, said in front of everyone, "I hate Charlie Kirk. He had it coming. He deserved it." Lexi, a registered nurse, was the only one that spoke up. "You're a doctor. How could you say someone deserved to die?" Lexi said you could hear a pin drop and no one said anything, including the patient. She reported the incident to management, and after she got home, she posted about it and Dr. Matthew Young on her private Instagram. She received an email from her union representative saying that she needs to look for another job. Lexi was pulled into a meeting and is suspended without pay indefinitely pending an investigation. Meanwhile, there's no information on whether or not Dr. Matthew Young has been being reprimanded. Lexi has filed a lawsuit. I interviewed her over the phone and she said, "I was deeply saddened over the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It was devastating to hear of the killing of an innocent father, and I thought everyone would agree, especially a doctor whose purpose is to save lives. In a time where personal social ideologies are often celebrated, especially if they align with popular progressive topics, I simply aim to stand up for what is right. They try to shut me up, but they're not going to. Lexi hopes that you share her story, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. The fact also remains that Dr. Matthew Young should be held accountable for saying Charlie deserved to die in front of a nurse's station and a patient. What if the patient disagrees? Would Dr. Matthew Young treat them? Would he treat them differently? Would he allow his emotions to cloud his judgment, as he did by saying such a statement in front of the patient? This happened at Inglewood Hospital in New Jersey. That's where we're at. So this is from the founder of Black Guns Matter. I don't know if this is true or not, but he still has it up. Supposedly shot Charlie with this rifle and optic, disassembled this rifle, slid it down his leg, jumped off the roof, reassembled it, and left.
So, Leah, let's explain to them why they're saying that he disassembled it. Mm-hmm. They're saying that he disassembled it because in the video footage where you can see this tiny little Ant-Man of the shooter going off of the roof, there is no rifle. Mm-hmm. He does not have a rifle with him. So where is it?
So Chris Lesh, Dana Lesh's husband, said he didn't have to disassemble and reassemble it, Maj. You can clearly see he had a long object wrapped in fabric. We have to remember when it's pointing towards the camera, it will seem like just a blob. Taj says, so if he concealed it in a bag or in his pants, jumped the roof afterwards here, why doesn't he have the rifle in this video of him jumping off the roof immediately after? Bag isn't large or stiff enough to contain a Mauser. If in his pants leg, his pants would rip when he lands. Rifles don't bend. Chris says, he has the rifle. He sets it on the roof and then jumps down with it. It's just wrapped in a cloth, no bag. That Mauser looks like only 22 barrel. Whole gun is about 3.5 feet, and he was very tall. Anytime the gun isn't precisely parallel to the camera, it will appear even shorter. So other people are saying his bag was on his back. He has something that he puts down before he starts to jump off the wall. Then you can see him grab it and drop to the ground. Again, his bag is on his back. You can see it as he turns around to drop off the wall. And so...
But the bag is on the back. If the gun is in that bag, it's disassembled.
Then people are saying the Mauser was found wrapped in a towel. That's a towel, not a bag. He didn't conceal a rifle in his pant leg. It was planted there for him to use. People are still having questions. So I just want to throw these questions out. It says, my dude, these are pixel layered with video compression and you can't make things out like a Polaroid. The most the pixels might do is turn slightly darker. So somebody says you can see it at 9 seconds. I just wanted you guys to to know that there are some questions out there.
Hmm.
Tyler Robinson and his family don't look like trans liberals to me, some lefty says. Tyler's family is a registered Republican. His father is a minister and former law enforcement. Some people are saying that's not true. They have family members in the military. Obviously, his dad is a Republican. And this is from his sister or his wife, maybe. Having fun at SLC this weekend. I guess this is from his mom, maybe. We came up here when Uncle Mikey, where Uncle Mikey works. And then I guess these are pictures here with him and some guns. Oh, okay, those are the littler kids with the guns. And then that's him with the big gun. That's what makes it even more subversive, by the way, that the kid would turn and kill somebody just like his parents. So there's not a win here for the left. That makes it even worse, right? This is a picture of Charlie's dad. Grief and solidarity have filled Phoenix as Kirk's heartbroken father cried, "Give me my son back. He's only 31." Alongside Pete Hegseth. This is Charlie Kirk in his post the night before he died. So, America will never be the same, as this woman is sliced in the neck, looks up in fear and horror as she bleeds out of the neck. The next day, America will never be the same as Charlie bleeds out the neck.
I think that there's a prophetic element to this. Someone had posted this, and I have not been able to corroborate this or confirm it, but somebody says that Charlie was a charismatic. And why is that important? Filled with the Holy Spirit. And so I'm not saying that you have to be filled with the Holy Spirit to say something prophetically, but it would be very interesting
I'll have to
have that confirmed.
So this is the evil left. This was on our page. That woman was an innocent victim. Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, got what he asked for, plain to see. Don't tie these two together. That poor lady's death was tragic. His was his own fault. Like, WTF is that idiot thinking senseless? He could have been avoided by stay online in your room where you're safe. He invited these people. That was on Resistance Chick's Facebook page. I was shocked. Erica Kirk, wife of Charlie Kirk. Their love story is amazing. She was a Miss Arizona. She had a sweatshirt shop in New York City. I don't know how you get one of those. I have no idea. But she would, for every sweatshirt sold, she would give one to the homeless. Charlie asked her to work for, she's obviously pretty tall because he's 6'5". He asked her to work for him, and they had this long interview, at which of the interview he said, "I can't hire you." And she said, "That's okay. I'll go back and work at my sweatshirt shop." He said, "Because I want to date you." Dating with the point of marriage, they courted. She was 29. He was 25. So he obviously was, he needed somebody more mature than everybody, all the other girls his age, because he's so smart. And Erica Kirk, then just hours before.
This would have been 25 minutes after he was shot. He was shot at 12:20 p.m.
This is Fox News. Posted a Bible verse just hours before he was shot.
So then what time was he shot then? Because my original reports were that he was shot at 12:20 now, but he was in Utah?
And she was probably
okay, so this was Eastern Standard Time. Okay, yeah. Then that makes more sense.
So just hours before he was shot, the God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in time of trouble. This is the new president of Oxford Union. He debated Charlie Kirk. And he says, Charlie Kirk got shot, let's effing go.
Oh my gosh.
People are calling for Oxford to obviously, he's got to be suspended, right?
Yeah.
So let's go over here to see Bannon. Charlie Kirk knew where the cancer spreads. Colleges, universities, and education.
Us to step up here and say this has to stop, and this is the actions we're going to take to stop it, and force the government to do a whole of government approach and destroy this evil that we've allowed to metastasize. And particularly, and this is why Charlie Kirk is such a hero. Where is it metastasized the most? In colleges and universities. with these professors and these administrators and all the way down into education. That's why Russ, let's call it what it is. It hates America. It hates the values of the Judeo-Christian West and Christendom. And it now needs to have a blowtorch put on it. So let's kick down some doors today and start arresting people.
Arresting who, though?
I know, that's right. I literally, that was my exact thing.
All right. So here, Charlie was asked specifically about Candace Owens and her recent anti-Semitism. People are pretty upset because Candace is using this again to go after Israel.
Thank you for coming, Charlie. And I had a quick question about anti-Semitism online. Another question here they asked about Candace Owens, and I'm a big fan of you. I was a big fan of her, but she's obviously been going down this anti-Semitic bent. And through her, I'm kind of finding out about these other characters online, like Nick, for instance. I'm sure you've heard of him. And these people, they've been active for a long time, and it seems like they've just been ignored, which is working, but now they're kind of surging in popularity. And as someone who I enjoy watching your debates, are they people you'd be willing to engage with and maybe shut them down in a way through a debate or something like that?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to debate Candace. But no, look, I'll debate anybody that shows up at our campus events first and foremost. But I do want to take what you say and extrapolate that there is a corner of the internet of people that want to point and blame the Jews for all their problems. Everybody, this is demonic and it's from the pit of hell. And it should not be tolerated. Period. But it goes to a structural problem of an entire generation that has economic resentment. They don't own anything. They're not getting married. They're not having children. They're depressed. They're anxious. They're staring at their screens all day long. And if all of a sudden your extrapolation of all that is, well, it's the Jews' fault, that is sloppy and shallow thinking. And not only that, they say, oh, it's the Jews' fault. Okay, let's kind of play this out. Well, tuberculosis, that used to kill about 1 billion people. It's a group of Jewish scientists that came up with the antibiotic that cured tuberculosis. How about CPR, the MRI machine? There's over 500 million lives that were saved over the last 50 years because of people that were Jewish scientists that were working on things. They'll never say thank you to the Jews, but they'll always say shame on the Jews. It's weird how that works. And finally, they always blame the Jews for stuff. Jewish people are an ethnicity. So therefore, definitionally, you have people that are secular, Orthodox, religious, that are all over the spectrum. You're trying to blame an entire ethnicity for a singular problem. Hold on, let's take a step back here. Instead of that, what could you possibly do in your own personal life to improve your own state of being? If you are blaming 0.02% of the world's population for all of your problems, that is not going to be good for your soul. It's not good for your psychology. It's not good for your future in any way, shape, or form. And so I would just say this, that any young person that goes into this hyper online brain rot, you are serving yourself over to your own demise. You are serving yourself into a suicide mission that will not make you happier and not make you healthier. Instead, here's what your attitude should be. Your attitude should be like, I can't own stuff. I got it. Can't own a home. I'm not getting married. I don't know who to date. I said, wow, the challenges are immense. I'm going to now overcome all those challenges and go on an adventure. I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm now not going to be a victim. I'm going to be a victor. I'm going to dig deep. This is still a great country. This is a free country. I'm going to use my agency. I'm going to use my ability. And I'm not just going to go point in the corner and be like, I'm overweight because of the Jews. Women don't want to date me because of the Jews. How about this? As Jordan Peterson would say, sit up straight with your shoulders back, follow the rules for life, make yourself interesting, learn something new every single day, and instead of pointing at a small group of people and engaging in this brain rot, become a better person. You'll be a happier and healthier, more joyful and productive person.
I love that so much. Here's the deal. I disagree with Charlie on some stuff. I do. I would have answered that question a little bit differently. His emphasis, because he speaks to young people, so you can't take it personally, like he's talking to the whole world.
He's speaking to
young people in college, telling them to get married, have kids, settle down, try to go for that American dream. For those of us that are not married and don't have kids and we're in our 40s, it doesn't really apply to us the way or maybe you are married and you're in your 60s or 70s. But
he's not wrong.
No, he's not. But my point is, I'm throwing that aside. I don't want to emphasize that too much.
He's going after right now. Who he's talking about is that there's a bunch of what
I
you
want to
call
finish my thought here.
gropers,
Right.
the young men who are anti-Jew.
Exactly. So that aside, I would not have put so much of an emphasis, but he's talking to youth. He's not talking to just like all of us, which we tend when we see a clip to generalize and think that he's supposed to be talking to the whole population. He's talking to young people. Okay. So that aside, I'm going to take this very tiny, tiny, tiny moment of our show, and we're going to get back to Charlie in 1 second. But since Charlie addressed it, I'm going to address it here. I love you all. I love you all. I said this to Leah earlier today. The emails and the messages that I have been getting from you guys telling us that we just have no clue what we are talking about when it comes to Israel and the Jews. And you've been sending clip after clip after clip after clip. Just wake up, please wake up. I love you guys so much. And you're right on all these other areas, but you are so wrong on this. First of all, that's disrespectful. Because I'm not coming at you guys saying, "Oh, you're so wrong on whatever."
And
your
you
pet
can't
peeve
say
is.
that we're so wrong about something because we don't praise Israel. So what are we so wrong about?
We don't stand here and go, "Oh wow, Israel is." We don't fly the Israeli flag. We don't go, "Wow, rah rah Israel." We're not big. We're not the big Israel people. We take a very middle of the road stance that says everybody needs Jesus. They have corruption. They have corruption. They have some problems. Yeah, some of our problems can be blamed on people that are quote unquote from Israel, Jewish, whatever. And they always say, "Don't the Ashkenazis and all this stuff." I'm going to tell you guys something.
It's not a bloodline thing, weirdos.
I'm not looking at your clips. I'm not reading your messages. Full stop. I love you. I have a mission that God has given me and has given Leah. And we are on that path, and we are running on that path as hard as we can. This is what I would say to you or to anybody else. If there is something that I'm not seeing that you feel very, very strongly that I need to see, pray for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just pray for me. I don't want you to be wasting your time sending me all of the clips and all of the messages. As soon as someone starts to bring up this stuff, I shut it down. I don't read it. I don't listen to it. I don't have time. Guys, I struggle to fit a shower in my day. That is one of those things that immediately I just shut off. And here's why. Because every single person that brings it to me, when they bring it up, there is a brain worm. It's all the Jews' fault. And that's all you can think about. It's all you can talk about. And I'm going, hang on.
There are so
many other things. Leah and I have an anointing to call out the public school system. Leah and I have an anointing to call out these universities. Leah and I have an anointing to call out all
bad pastors who aren't Jewish, by the way.
Okay? And so I'm going to keep running that race, and I'm going to keep doing it. And if God calls me to call out Jewish people or to call out the Jews at some future point, he will do that. And I trust that he will do that.
Because one of the big things that we've always talked about is the Jewish subversion that came over the Frankfurt School.
And the funding of the Schofield Reference Bible.
So the atheist Frankfurt, the atheist Jews funded the Frankfurt School was a communism. And we need to see, where did it spread to, though?
Right.
Okay. A handful of Jewish people spread this atheism to our entire public school system, the entire universities. And until you tell me that you are telling all your friends and you did not send your kids to public school, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you think that this is real. I believe that most people have an itching ear, want to hear the next crazy thing. Whereas if you come to our show, I'm not here to bring you the next crazy thing. I'm here to give you like the top 10 rots in America so that we can clean it. I'm not here to do itching ears. If we landed on the moon, it's kind of funny whether we did or not. You know, we can go there for like on a fun day, right? But there are like a handful, like top 10 rotten things: the Federal Reserve, the public school system, abortion, transgenderism, Aleister Crowley, what's his name? Alfred Kinsey.
Oh yeah, Alfred Kinsey, huge.
So we've got like top 10 perverted things that are going on in our nation. Those are the things that Charlie focused on.
Right.
So I want to focus on those top 10 things. The auxiliary things, guess what? Did you know that in America, eugenics was not started by Jewish guys? It was actually by Christian-y guys. Rockefeller was a Christian. Okay? So when we're breaking these things
Hitler
down,
literally got his ideas for eugenics from non-Jewish people.
A lot of them, some of them were Jewish, but most of them were non-Jewish. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to go down too far on this. I just want to lay that to rest because Charlie just addressed it here for you guys. If you send me those things, I don't have time, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be rude. This is not an arrogant thing. I'm here to tell you, I have a calling. I have a mission. They say stay in your lane. I'm staying in that lane.
I think that the devil is using this as a mind rot, okay, to get you from focusing.
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein was Jewish. Charlie Kirk was killed because the devil wanted Charlie to stop focusing on Mossad and Israel and exposing Jeffrey Epstein's Jewish connections, Israeli connections. That full stop is what we can talk about. But when what happens is when you bring up Jew, you muddy the waters from the focus on the thing.
Yeah.
Focus on Jeffrey Epstein, Mossad, Israel. Focus. I'm trying to get you focused. Focus on the thing. Hit the actual thing with actual facts. Jeffrey Epstein was tied in at the hip with Mossad. Ghislaine Maxwell was tied in with Mossad, with Israel. Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was tied in it was actually literally assassinated. You want to talk about somebody who was assassinated by Israel? Ghislaine Maxwell's father was tied to that. And here's the rub. Trump is friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. Trump wished Ghislaine Maxwell, tied to Mossad, tied to Israel, well. Charlie Kirk was going hard. Epstein. He and Megyn Kelly blew up a Turning Point USA on the stage, reaming Pam Bondi, reaming her, talking about the cover-up of Jeffrey Epstein in the list. The next day or the next 2 days, Charlie Kirk said, I've got the call from my friends telling me I'm not supposed to talk about Epstein anymore. So in respect for them, I'm going to be quiet. You want to talk about what really killed Charlie Kirk. In the spirit realm.
Come on.
When you decide that you have a lane of righteousness and someone convinces you to step outside of that lane of righteousness, the cover comes off. And so if Donald Trump called Charlie and said, stop talking about Epstein, that was a demonic call, and a demonic hit was set out through that call to Charlie Kirk. He wanted to talk about Epstein. He wanted to talk about all the things that were important.
But to his credit, my heart here is with Charlie. He just wanted to honor his country. He wanted to honor, quote unquote, his president. And
his president is not honoring him. If his president wanted to honor him, you'd release the Epstein list now that he died for, I believe. One of the reasons.
I think that's true.
There's a lot of reasons that Charlie died. We can pin it on a lot of things. But the fact of the matter is from a spiritual aspect, he's a martyr. Some covering came off. Because either God took him or the devil took him. And if the devil took him, then a covering of protection came off because he stepped out of some anointing he had. There are martyrs for martyr's sake. And God says, this is your time. You're coming, Stephen. I don't know. I'm not going to make that call.
I am going to say he's a martyr for his faith, though.
No, he is a martyr.
But as far as,
Did God take him?
Right.
Did God say, Charlie, this is your time. Come to heaven. You're a martyr for me.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think God said, Charlie, your time, I'm done with you.
I agree with that.
And that is the case for martyrs, usually. Okay? When Jesus tells the martyrs, you're going to be laying down your life for me. You're going to be laying down your life for me. I'm going to let you know you're laying. Charlie knew he was going to have to lay down his life. I think he knew. But I think there's also something about stepping outside an anointing. And I'm not going to say which is which right now, but I do know that Donald Trump asked Charlie to do something against his conscience.
Yeah, that's good. All right, let's go back to
All right, so I'm going to go to Candace Owens. Candace Owens was very good friends with Charlie Kirk. We all thought that they would get married. So Tyler Robinson was communicating with someone on Discord prior to and about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Someone provided him with the rifle. Candace says correct. More people were involved. We need to know whom. A lot of school shootings are related to Discord chat, so there is an underground merging, and we need to know who the directors of it are. And then I guess Benjamin Netanyahu had a letter from Charlie, and he brought it up. And Candace is mad because he did not read the entire letter, and he lied by omission.
Where are you at? You're just up on Candace's
page.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through her tweets.
Okay.
So she says the father of the shooter was a 27-year veteran of the Washington County Sheriff's Department. We need to continue to ask questions about absolutely everything. I want to know everything there is to know about this kid. So, and then about Bibi, she says the man literally booked himself on an American primetime show and held up a letter to represent it as a love letter to Israel. He did that intentionally. It was naked deception and propaganda. Let the world hear Charlie in his own words. So she's going back and forth with Laura Loomer, and a lot of people are mad at Candace today over all that. So I'm just throwing that out there because they were really good friends, and now it's all about Israel, and it's so crazy. All right, moving on. Utah Governor Spencer Cox. I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. No rioting, no looting, no cars set on fire, no violence, just vigils and prayers.
But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting, there was no looting, there were no cars set on fire, there was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us.
Wow, that's really powerful. And I agree with that statement. We do get a chance to choose whether it's a turning point for us.
Okay, here we go.
So this is Erica Kirk. I don't even know how she could do this.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband.
Can you hear louder?
I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from the studio, this chair, every day. He loved what he did. I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well, bringing him home. You both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. He did. Your friendship was amazing. You supported him so well, as did he for you. 2 days ago, my husband, Charlie, went to see the face of his Savior and his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. And one of the final conversations that he had on this earth, my husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America. He loved nature, which helped him always bring him closer to God. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. Want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks. But most of all, Charlie loved his children. And he loved me with all of his heart. And I knew that. Every day I knew that. He made sure I knew that every day. Every day he would ask me, how can I serve you better? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? Every day. Every day. He's such a good man. He still is a good man. He was the perfect father. He was the perfect husband. Charlie always believed that God's design for marriage and the family was absolutely amazing, and it is. It is, and it was the greatest joy of his life. And over, he would tell all these young people to come in and find their future spouse, become wives and husbands and parents. And the reason why is because he wanted you all to experience what he had and still has. He wanted everyone to bring heaven into this earth through love and joy that comes from raising a family. It's beautiful. Charlie always said that if he ever ran for office, I know a lot of you asked if he ever was going to, but privately he told me if he ever did run for office that his top priority would be to revive the American family. That was his priority. One of Charlie's favorite Bible verses was Ephesians 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children. He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love. I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do. So does our Lord. And our world is filled with evil. But our God, you guys, our God is so good. He's so incredibly good. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose.
You guys do not want to miss the rest of that speech from Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica. You can listen to the rest of it on this episode, along with the over 2 more hours of remembering Charlie Kirk right at resistancechicks.com. Thank you so much for tuning into Resistance Chicks on Faith and Freedom TV. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. We will see you next time right here from resistancechicks.com.